Howdy, and welcome to the Mr. Maple Show. Y'all, we're bringing you a top 5, but a top 5 from one of our employees, Kate. You may have met her before at some of the open houses. She's out here helping people find plants, helping pull carts. She really does it all here at Mr. Maple. Kate, how long have you been working here?
About 4 years. I really enjoy working here.
Yeah, Kate came to us as a Blue Ridge Community College horticulture intern. And then, we talked her to staying around, and we're glad she did. Kate is one of those people here at the nursery that does a little bit of everything. And if you're looking for a plant, she often knows where it's at here at Mr. Maple.
Oh, thank you.
Now, I know you say sometimes your mom watches some of the videos. You want to say hi to your mom?
What up, Jenna? Hey.
So, Kate, what do you like doing around here at Mr. Maple?
Well, what I really love most is whenever we get shipments of plants, it's so fun to see the different types that we have. But I also just really love working with everyone. The shipping process is fun, seeing what people like to order.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Sometimes people will order all maples, and then sometimes you can see they're building a garden, and you start to see a garden in a box. It's kind of fun whenever you see all these orders come in and try to piece them together and understand what people are doing in their gardens. I know I've got one customer, and he orders every linterlobum style that we get. So if it's a yellow threads, if it's a Hub's red willow, if it's a fairy hair, he's getting that linterlobum selection. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to go into Kate's top 5 Japanese maples.
All right, so my number 5 maple is a Green Cascade. I just really love the way that it's so thoroughly dissected. The leaf is so ornate, almost kind of reminds me of a doily. And then in the fall, it gets a beautiful orange, red, yellow combination. It's just beautiful. It
really is. I mean, that is such a beautiful tree. Green Cascade is one of those plants that just has that cascading habit. It's got that large Acer japonicum leaf, that heavily dissected foliage. And it's one of those plants that is just nice and cascading. It's a selection by Art Wright, the guy who wrote the book on Japanese maples, his right-hand man, the guy who's doing a lot of propagation with him. And it got into the nursery trade, and it's been popular ever since. I mean, for an Acer japonicum that's dissected, it really gives some of that ornate foliage you're talking about and really rocks it out in the garden. It performs well in the landscape for many people, and it's a tree that I think more people need to have in their garden.
Beautiful. And then my top 4 is a Purple Thunder. I really love the claw-like shape of the leaf, the way that it points down and almost has a curled edge, and then the highly dissected leaves with the serration. It's just really interesting to look at, and the saturated deep purple color, it's just stunning. Then the bright red fall color. It's just such a interesting plant to watch throughout the year, and I always love when we have them here.
Kate chose another full moon Japanese maple. This time she chose an Acer Shirasolanum selection by Talon Buchholz. That's a red Acer Shirasolanum. And Purple Thunder, it's just got that really thin foliage to it that just makes it stand out for being an Acer Shirasolanum. But it's kind of cool. I don't know if you saw your theme so far with some full moon Japanese maple types. That's a really cool upright, newer introduction by Talon Buchholz. You don't see in the trade as much yet because it's just hitting the market. But the Acer Shirasolanums that are red do well everywhere. In zones 5 through 9, they do fantastic. And in those zone 5 climates, when you get a polar vortex that's really cold, the Acer Shirasolanum hybrid in it actually helps it in those really cold, extreme colds in those zone 5s. So that's a cool plant.
So then my number 3 is a Caperci Dwarf. I also just think it's great for a lot of people in open house. They look for something that grows in a pot. And Caperci Dwarf, it's 1 to 2 feet in height. It has a really beautiful compact growth habit, but then also just how small the leaves are. It's really cute, and I love the way that it's variegated on the edges before it turns in fall, and it's just beautiful.
Caperci Dwarf is the selection that was found by Mr. Caperci. He also introduced some conifers like Caperci's Cream. I mean, amazing small little dwarf Japanese maple. The thing I like most about it, it is one of the shortest and widest of those hime types. The early spring, you get some of that purple red border to it. It looks like variegation to it, which is awesome. But the shape of it is just low and spreading. And it is often a tree that doesn't get taller than about a foot tall, but can get very wide. And if you plant this up next to a house or something, it will make more of a half moon, but it is an amazing container plant like you were talking about. It's one of the coolest trees because its horizontal growth looks like an exaggerated characteristic because it grows so wide and stays so short that it just makes a statement in the garden for many people. That's an underrated tree that is really cool, and that's really cool that came in at your number 3.
Oh, thank you. Well, my number 2, I'm going to have to go with English lace. I know a lot of people really love the lace style trees, and I feel as though English lace is kind of one where it's very similar in habit to ones like maybe like a Tsumukiyama style leaf, but they have such a bright maroon color and then a bright red color in fall. And I really love the way that it grows with very swooping branches. It's just very elegant and, you know, proper English tree. It's fun.
Oddly enough, it's a tree that I found out about because it was a friend of mine who introduced it in Washington.
That's cool.
And he gave one to Peter Gregory, who wrote the book on Japanese maples. And I think he thought maybe if I put the name English lace on it, someone like Peter would really enjoy it. I don't know. But Peter being in England. But English lace is this cool shape for a red lace leaf. I mean, it's very vigorous. It's one of the fastest growing red lace leaves. But I often stake it up at an early age and point it upwards, and then let it just continue to go upwards. And it'll have this sort of undulating, open habit to it that is unlike many of the other trees. And so if you're looking to shape a red lace leaf and sort of do that floating cloud style, that bonsai-esque look that you see everywhere with, you know, some pines or things like that with a Japanese maple, English lace is a perfect tree to do that with. And it grows so darn fast. If you just want a specimen in the landscape, plant one of those out there and it's gonna be one of the biggest red lace leaves in your lifetime than any of the other red lace leaves. So that's an awesome number 2, Kate.
Bang for your buck. And then my number 1 is going to be an Esk Sunset. I feel like it's just such a cool, you know, maple. You really can't get better than it. It has almost a Jackson Pollock look to the front of the leaf, and then on the back it's a maroon color, so you kind of have 2 different styles of leaves in the same tree. And it's just really interesting to watch the variegation change throughout the year.
You've got a home run hitter of top 5s, one not everybody sees, but Acer pseudoplatanus Esk Sunset, sometimes referred to as the Eskimo sunset maple. I believe that happened because someone was trying to market the tree a little bit better. It's a selection by Esk Valley Nursery in New Zealand. So Esk Sunset is the correct name on Esk Sunset. It's a really strong upright European sycamore maple, and the colors are just unreal.
Beautiful.
The purple on the bottom side of the leaves, as it gets taller and you look up into the tree with the wind blowing, I mean, it's outrageous. We've got a gorgeous specimen of those at Buckholtz Nursery. It's one of the, you know, people were like, what are you most excited about Buckholtz Nursery in the grounds? I'm like, well, I love the big macaw. It's got one of the biggest macaws in the world. But seeing Esk Sunsets as trees, I mean, that's just outrageous. You don't see them that often. And it's definitely a tree more people should be growing.
It's beautiful.
Well, y'all, that was Kate's top 5 Japanese maples, y'all. You know, give us some comments and below. If you want to see Kate in some more videos, let us know too. I think she did a phenomenal job today. Y'all take care, God bless, and have a great day.